Our final segment is brought to you by Engineered Tax Services, where engineering and accounting come together. Joining us via Skype is Julio Gonzalez, founder and CEO of Engineered Tax Services. Welcome, Julio.
Hey, Julio.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you. So I'm going on the next show to talk about Amazon. Why don't you tell me what you think and we can compare notes? And particularly, it has been reported that for the second year in a row, Amazon is not paying any federal taxes. Can you explain to me how they managed to do this?
Yeah, it sure doesn't feel right. And certainly I'm a person that works on helping people mitigate their taxes. But, I think the main way they're doing it is to issue stock to people within the company. And, they do that at no cost, but get to expense it at some fair market value. And that ultimately allows them to, drop their tax liabilities down to -%, right? It just doesn't feel right that they can, basically give this gift away and claim it as an expense. And again, I'm one to help companies bring down their tax liabilities, but that just, but they're not really paying something and they're getting to expense the thing that they're giving away. It just doesn't feel right.
But in terms of feeling versus legally and technically, what they're doing is legal. So are you saying that you think that the law should be changed?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that, small business owners, we can't give away stock and, get this magical expense. I just think that it takes money away from the Treasury that ultimately could go to much better uses. So yeah, I would try to change that. And I think Trump tried to, just didn't get done.
And of course, Amazon announced on Valentine's Day, out of all days, that it is breaking up with New York. It's not coming to New York City for its second headquarters. What's your opinion on that?
I think that, they just, right, Valentine's Day, they just weren't feeling the love, right, from a big part of the New York constituency there. And I think New York, a lot of the people there just didn't feel like the giveaways were worth bringing in 40,000 employees. And I get the point. I mean, look, it's, I'm sure other states will try to bring them in and give away these incentives and hope the payoff is there with bringing 40,000 new employees to the tax base. But certainly New York didn't feel like it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that Amazon is going to be fine, but I think it's a big loss for New York State and New York City.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that ultimately, though, and we see a lot of people leaving New York, we continue to see those reports every day, right, because of the state law tax not being deductible, and we see them continue to flock into states like Florida. And I think this is just another big hit against New York and its competitive landscape in attracting employment. And look, you have plenty of employment there, but as it continues to erode and you lose that tax base, I think they're going to have to look at ways to not lose these opportunities and become more competitive.
Well, and Governor Cuomo has been trying to persuade or push President Trump to advocate to change what happened in the tax law on the state and local tax deduction. But the Wall Street Journal pushes back and says, hey, Governor Cuomo, why don't you just lower your own taxes all around the state instead of trying to get more giveaways through deductions that are going to be subsidizing the state? Do you agree that we should keep that in place in terms of blocking the higher deduction on state and local taxes?
Well, you're not going to change the federal tax code. It's law now, and probably won't change for another 30 to 40 years like it does every time. So I think some way New York is going to have to find a way to be more competitive because those tax laws aren't going to change anytime soon, I don't think.
So, Julio, we got some breaking news that President Trump has indeed announced a national emergency to fund the additional portion of his wall that the Congress did not pass. Do you think, number one, this will stand up in courts? And then number two, how will Republicans in Congress respond? Do you think some might join with the Democrats and attempt to perhaps create legislation to block this?
Well, I don't think it's going to stand up in the courts. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's just, President Trump reaching out to his base, doing everything he can to commit to his promises, but ultimately, I don't see it getting through the courts.
Well, that's interesting because Brookings Institution had some analysts saying that he actually might be able to, but at this point, it'll all go to the courts.
Yeah, well, those courts are in California. I don't think that's going to go well.
All right, Julio. Well, thanks for pointing out the realism. We appreciate it, Julio.
Great seeing you.
You too.
Thanks. And we want to